right. Hi, guys. Welcome to Math Lesson 1.7. This is take number 3. I've had to re-record this twice because I kind of hit the wrong button, but that's okay. So we are going to do a lesson today that talks about volume again. So I know that we did this yesterday. Volume is when you measure something that has that's three-dimensional object. And there was a great question somebody sent me. They said, Miss Gilman, do people have volume? Technically, we do. Anything that takes up space, any three-dimensional object that takes up space has volume. A person absolutely has volume. A chair, a car, all of these things have volume. It doesn't have to hold something to have volume. This little container, this little bear that I have has volume. Now, you have to measure it differently, but it still has it. So absolutely. So any three-dimensional object has volume. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about this today, but we're going to talk about using our volume with a rectangular prism. So this is a rectangular prism. It's kind of like a cube, but you can fill it up with stuff. Okay, so we're going to measure the volume of 3 rectangular prisms today. We're going to start with this one. This is rectangular prism A. Rectangular prism B. This is my handy dandy juice, fruit, water thingy cup. Water box that I had. It was what I had my little pouches that go in my water. So this is just a little box from that. Look at this size. Okay. And then finally, we're going to use our art box. So this is just an art box that I used last year. So we're going to talk about this. So in order to find volume, we are going to start working today on length times width times height. In a shape like this, it is easier to do it that way. Trying to find the base and fill up the entire base would take a long time. Okay, so we're going to just do length times width times height. So we're going to start today by looking at this cube. So I'm going to use these little Unifix cubes. These are the ones that you can make patterns with, and they're just kind of fun. They connect together. So I'm going to use these because it's a little easier for me. And literally, I'm stacking them in. And do you see right where the blue one ends? That's where I'm going to pull it apart. I'm going to pull this blue one off because that one is a little bit too much. So it stops at that red. Okay. So that is my height. Great. My height is here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on this little chart, I'm going to draw lines. I'm going to have a length, width, and height. So my height is going to be 8. Now freeze. I forgot one very important thing. You're going to start by making a prediction or an estimate. Now, an estimate is like an educated guess. That means if I'm looking at this box, this cube, I'm not going to say that it only fits 3 because that's a lot of empty space that's still not filled up. So I want you to make a guess. Now that you know it takes about 8 to go the height, about how many do you think would take it to fill it up? There's a picture for you so you can see. So go ahead and make a guess. Pause it if you need to. All right. Now we're going to measure the length and the width. So my length right here, okay, I'm going to put this in it. I can add more to it. You see there's still a big hole there? That means I can add at least one more to it. Let's see how this works. Oh, there's still a little bit of space. But I don't think that's big enough for another cube. That's too little. So I think that we're going to be done with this. So my length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my length on my paper will be 10. And my width. So going straight across. So from here to right there. All right, here's my width. There we go. There's your width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My width is 9. So now I'm going to count this and I'm going to measure and I'm going to do my multiplication. 9 times 10 is 90. Then if I multiply 90 times 8, that is 720. That means that if I want to fill that container, I'm going to need 720 of those cubes. I'm not counting that many cubes. I would much rather just do the math, right? Looking at box B. So make a prediction. This is what 1 looks like in there. Make a prediction. About how many do you think it would be or it would take to fill it up? About how many do you think would be your length, your width, and your height? Maybe that'll help. Go ahead and pause and write your prediction. All right, I hope you have your prediction done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure this one, and I'm going to go ahead and see if this will work. So I'm going to try 4. Oh my gosh, look at that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So my length will be 4. My width, okay, I'm going to put my cubes in there, and it's going to be right here. That's about how many it'll take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 by 6. All right. And finally, how tall is it? So I'm going to go back to my little pieces, and I'm going to put it right in. And right where it breaks off, do you see this? It separates right there. I'm going to break those pieces off. This is how tall it is. So what is my height? You should have 4. All right, 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 4. 24 times 4. All right, your answer should be 96. If I have 24 times 4, 4 times 4 is 16, carry my 1. 4 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That's how I got 96. And finally, my last rectangular prism. Here we go. I'm going to start with my length. I like doing length and width because it keeps it in order. So my length, this time we're going to do length this way. Now, I can smush this. Let me try this. Let me see if that lets me fit another one in here. I mean, if you look, it's still not quite enough for one whole one. So I think this is going to be my length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my length is 10. My width. All right. I can't do this. It's too big. It won't fit. It gets caught. It won't fit, and I can't cram it. I got to take 1 off. So here is my width. That's pretty close, right? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My width is going to be 6. And my height. So if I were wanting to close this, I would not be able to fit 3. So if you look at it, that third blue one is too tall. So it only will fit 2. So my height for this box is 2. Now we're going to multiply. 10 times 6. Think in your head. And then multiply that by 2. Your answer should be 120. 120. All right. Drop a comment down below and let me know if your guesses and your estimates were correct. Trying to be silly. All right. Now, that's how you use volume, and that's how you measure volume. You can use length times width times height. But sometimes, just sometimes, like these problems that you're going to do today, it's almost like you're looking at a picture that's not quite complete. So I am a very visual person. I like hands-on things. If you have Legos, if you have building blocks, if you have something else that you can use for these and you need to, use them. You're allowed to. So I'm going to build this because that's easier for me. I know there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces going across. So there's 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 pieces going across. Okay, then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces going out this way. So if I look, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then also looking at this picture, I see that it is 1, 2, 3, 4 levels high. So think about like a building that's like 4 stories high, and that's coming right out here. So this picture matches my cubes. Now, the good thing about these cubes is I can pick them up and I can spin them. So I can look from the bottom, I can look from the top, I can look from any direction I want to make sure I'm counting the right way. So this is what your cubes look like. And so my first thing is I'm going to try to find the length. My length, I always look from this point of view. So I'm going to pretend like I'm walking up to this block and I'm looking from this point of view. Let's count my length. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my length is right here. It is 6. Then I'm going to go width. So my width, I'm going to pretend like I'm walking over and I'm standing this way. Okay. How wide is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, how tall is it? So for this, I'm going to turn it this way because from the front, you can't really see that there's a hidden little floor there. Okay, so it's kind of like a building. So looking at this way, imagine you're in the elevator. You have the ground floor. It still counts, even though it's the ground floor. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So my height on this is 4. So now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply. 6 times 5 times 4. So 6 times 5 times 4. You have your answer? Great. 6 times 5 is 30, times 4 is 120. So in order to fill this cube or make it, you would need 120 cubic units. So I would need 120 of these little cubes in order to make this picture. All right, let's do the next piece. This one is going to be trickier. Again, I'm going to pretend like I'm looking this way. So I'm going to use my pen and I'm going to show that arrow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 8 units wide. Now I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units wide. And then finally, I'm going to count how many stories my building is. Again, it's just like a building downtown Indianapolis. Ground floor still counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my height is going to be 5. So now you're going to multiply. 5 times 4 times 8. Pause the video if you need to. Great. 5 times 4 times 8. So 5 times 4 is 20, times 8 is 160. So it'll take 160 units to fill that prism. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to start getting more tricky, more and more and more tricky, guys. This time I'm going to go ahead and build it. I think that's easier for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. By 1, 2, 3, 4. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. All right, here's my picture. There's my picture. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like I'm coming from this angle, and then we'll check. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check if I were looking from this angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Now we're going to look at it from this side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's triple check. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, how tall is my building? Okay, so if this is 1 level, 2 levels, 3 levels, 4 levels. So my height is also 4. Let's check. Ground floor, 2, 3, 4. Now you know what you need to do. You are going to multiply length times width times height. So 6 times 4 times 4. You're going to put your answer for this question on the slide. Make sure you are putting these on the slide. Put it in your math journal for now, and then once you get done, you can go put it on those slides, okay? All right, time for the next one. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is where you get to do base times height. So base times height. So we're going to pretend that this little piece is kind of turned this way. See how it kind of looks like the bottom of a box, and then you can see how tall it is? There is still a base times height. So when it says base, that means the side that's all the way filled in. Okay, let's count how many pieces are on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Don't forget there's a hidden one down there. So my base is going to be 20. And my height is going to be how tall it is. So again, if we're looking at it this way, trying to figure out how tall the building is, we have ground floor, second, third, fourth floor. So base times height is the same as 20 times 4. Again, you're going to do the math and you're going to answer into those text boxes on that page. Double click on the text box, type it in when you get done. Now, I want to bring your attention to something. Notice that my label has changed. When I'm finding area, I'm using square units or units squared because I'm multiplying just length times width. But when I'm doing volume, I'm multiplying length times width times height, and that means my answer will be in units cubed or units with a little tiny 3. Cubic units. The best way to think about this is if it's 3D, it's cubed. Think about a cube, a dice, any of those. 3D, it's cubed, it has a 3. Two-dimensional, again, is paper, so it's flat. Okay? So area is squared. A square is flat. Volume is cubed. Cubed. Because a cube has 3 dimensionals, right? Great. All right, here we go. I'm going to help you with this one, and then you have to find this one on your own. So again, looking from this angle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then looking at my height, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to multiply and write your answers. And then on this one, you're going to find the length, you're going to find the width, and you're going to find the height. So on your math slides, it will have this page, and you need to tell me, what did you get for your length? What did you get for your height or your width, and what did you get for your height? And then you need to find your answers. It's going to be tricky, and I know. The next thing you're going to do is your math boxes. So your math boxes for today will look a lot like this. So before you do number 1, don't forget you need to do parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition, subtraction. PEMDAS, don't forget to do that. Number 2, it says if you want to know how many boxes of markers will fit in a drawer, you have to measure what? If I want to know how many of these will fit in here, am I measuring length, area, or volume? What's the name of our lesson? There's a hint. All right, number 3, Find the area of the table that is 3 feet wide and 2.5 feet long. You should know how to do this. We did a lot of this yesterday. Here's a hint. Draw this extra line if you need to. Okay. Number 4, write the following expression using numbers. An expression using numbers. So 7 times the sum of 6 and 4. So I can't do times until I know the sum. So I know sum means adding. So I'm going to add first. So 6 plus 4 times 7. Really pay attention to what you need to know first and then go from there. All right, and then on number 5, how did you decide which type of measurement you would need for problem number 2? What do you think you're going to put? So here's your sample for today. What I want you to put on there, I want you to write, I need to find volume. Length times width times height. You type those exact words, and that's how I know that you watched all of my video today. Awesome. You guys did an awesome job. Awesome, awesome job. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the videos that I'm posting. Make sure that you are paying attention, asking